Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have a student on from LaGrange College, Mr. David Austin Taylor. Austin, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Well, you know, it's a pleasure to sit down with some of our students from LaGrange College, and I just want to tell the viewing audience how I got an opportunity to get you on the show. I was down visiting with your mom in the police department, wasn't in trouble. I had to go down and take a test with her, and we got to talking, and she was telling me that her son was at LaGrange College and he was majoring in theater, and I just had April McArdle on, and I think they had visitation day a while back. And one of the things that she talked about was trying to get more students interested in the theater because there's scholarship monies available for that. And here you are, a product of that environment. I do want to get a chance to sit down and talk with you. First of all, before we get started, tell us just a little bit about yourself, Austin, if you don't mind.
All right. I was born and raised here in LaGrange. This is my hometown, so that's always the thing to say at the college. I'm a townie. This is where I'm from. So I went to LaGrange High, graduated in 2011, and then started at LaGrange College.
Okay.
Focused in theater arts. I don't know what else to say.
Focus on theater arts. Okay.
Yeah.
A great thing. Let me now, and as we were talking before we came on, there's a couple of things in plays that you've been in. We're going to talk about those in just a moment. But let me ask you, what kind of sparked your interest and curiosity in getting into the theater?
Well, like I said, I did go to LaGrange High, and when I started at the high school, I really wanted to be an athlete. I did a lot of wrestling. I did wrestling in middle school, and then came up and started with Coach Scooter Weathers at the high school. And I really didn't have any interest in doing theater. I didn't know that I would like it or that I'd be good at it or anything like that. But one of the guys on my team, somebody I was really close to, did it in high school. Julian Gluck was really, really into the theater stuff. And one day we were on the bus on our way to a meet, and he's talking about it. He just kind of sparked my interest talking about all the things that he did, and I thought, you know, I like to sing. I'd always been a singer, and I was like, I like to sing and do stuff like that. So maybe I could get into this. Maybe this would be something I'd be interested in. And he encouraged me to audition for a show, and so I auditioned for Bus Stop, which was a show that they were doing there, and I got cast in the lead. And it was the very first show I'd ever done. I was freaking out, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I found that I had a passion for it, and it was something that I knew I wanted to continue doing, so I enrolled in more classes at the high school with Mr. John Riggs, and I did that for the rest of my junior year, all of my senior year, and around halfway through my senior year, Mr. Riggs talked to me about colleges and what I wanted to do, and I told him I wasn't sure. I didn't know where I could go with theater or what I wanted to do with it, and he told me that his wife was a professor at LaGrange College and taught theater there, and said that they had scholarship auditions, because as soon as he said LaGrange College, I was like, okay, I can't do this. It's a private college. That's like $40,000 a year.
Too close to home.
Yeah, right? I can't do it. But he told me, he said, they offer scholarship money in the theater. He said, you should go audition and see if you can get a scholarship. And so I did. I looked into it. Of course, with him having the connections at the college, I didn't really have to email anybody or anything like that. And he told me, you know, prepare a monologue, prepare a song, and then go do your monologue and your song for the Theater Arts Board. So I did. I went on audition day, which they had scheduled ahead of time, and I stood back behind stage with 30 other kids and just talked and made friends and went out and did my thing and left, and found out a few weeks later that I'd been accepted for a theater scholarship, applied for the college, got other grants from the college, other academic scholarships from the college, and I've been there ever since.
Very good. Very great success story there. And it was something that you kind of stepping outside of the, I guess, the traditional career path, and we want to talk about that a little bit later, the support that you have and the reason why you feel like you're going to be successful in it. But you started out there and you did Bus Stop very first time and got the leading role, and I think you and a couple other guys have done some other productions there at LaGrange High that are kind of continuing on. Talk about that for us.
Yeah. I think in my senior year, we really wanted to come up with a fundraiser that would be able to help the theater department, because we didn't have a lot of funding at LaGrange High. And so myself, Jalen Smith, who a lot of people in LaGrange probably know, and a lot of other students that were involved in the theater department there, we came up with this SNL type show that we called Monster Madness. That it was the very first time we had done it. And it was going to be a Halloween, like really funny skit type show with like songs and dances, just something for people to come and enjoy, you know, before Halloween. That wasn't scary. It was a family-friendly event, and it was more of a comedy than anything. Okay. And it turned out to be really successful. We wound up packing the entire theater out, and it just kind of blew my mind that something that myself and other students created, like, was that successful. And then I found out after I graduated, they're still doing it. Like, it happened last year, the year before, and the year before. And I see the sign every day passing on the way to the college when they're doing it, and it's just amazing.
Absolutely. And you're talking about, having something that kind of a legacy, leaving a legacy there, and that perhaps one day will become a legacy there at the college or at the school there to continue on. And you can look back, and say, hey, I remember when we did that.
Yeah.
Now, talk about your transitioning over to college. Now, you've been there now. This is your third year as a student. You're in your field of studies there. Talk about one of the most difficult times you've had in your career.
I would say this year has been the most difficult year I've ever had. I tried to go out and support myself financially, be on my own, because living on campus was so expensive. I couldn't do it, so I decided I wanted to try to live on my own off campus. No, not a good idea. It's been really, really tough, and it's been a lot of not only just juggling that in my personal life, but then this year in theater has been not only trying, I guess, but it's been trying because I've been so involved this year. I've been cast in every show that we've done, which is, it's a great honor to be able to do that and be that involved, but it takes a lot. We've done 4 shows back to back to back to back. I feel like I started in August and I have not been outside of that theater yet. I'm still there. We open a show in 2 weeks, and so I'm there every night from 6 to 9:30 doing that Monday through Friday, and so it's been really difficult this year just because, my freshman year I was in 1 show. My sophomore year I was in 2 shows on opposite ends of the year. This year it's just been August to May.
Back to back.
Back to back to back to back to back. So it's been really tough year.
And let's just talk a little bit, Austin, if you don't mind, because there may be some young people out there and they may want to aspire to this track that you're on. What are some of the classes that they could take to help them in this field?
Okay. Well, I think, now that we have 2 tracks now, we have just a strictly theater major and a musical theater major. But both majors, you take basic fundamental classes, acting 1, which non-majors take, and sometimes that gets non-majors into it just because it's so all-encompassing. It shows you the basic fundamentals to acting, and so even if you come in fresh, you have a foundation to build on. And so you start with acting 1, you take acting 2, you'll take makeup for the stage, you take stagecraft, you take not only performance classes. Even if you just want to be a performer, you have to take technical classes as well so that you become the most well-rounded theater individual that you can in order to market yourself better. And so I know one of the most helpful classes I've taken there is an auditioning class. I took it last year, and it just teaches you not only in a theater setting to audition and get roles and be professional, but also teaches you, like I said, to market yourself and to build a resume and to know how to interview and to know how to show, what your skills are and why you're the most valuable person in the room.
Oh my goodness, okay, very good. Now let me ask you now, because you say you get back-to-back auditions and plays, you also was in another play not very long, you played the character of Willy Wonka. Talk about that for us if you don't mind.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I did that in my transition between high school and college. Actually, it was around the end of my senior year. I got cast in New Horizons production, which is in West Point. So if you've never been there, you should definitely go because it's really cool. They just remodeled the theater. But I got cast in their production of Willy Wonka. I got cast in the title role, and it was the very first musical I'd ever done. So, and it was, seeing as I just started theater my junior year, I'd only been in it for a year, and it was just an awesome experience to show me, what it's really about to be in a musical and how it feels to go somewhere other than the high school and how it's different in different places. It was a really awesome experience, though.
Very good. So you do singing and acting, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness, okay. So almost a triple threat. You play an instrument as well?
I do. I play piano.
Oh my goodness, so you are a triple threat, aren't you? Oh my goodness. Well, let me ask you now, because, and I can, you have the poster face already. Talk about your support system.
I have an amazing support system. My family is so supportive of what I do. We spoke earlier, and I said, it's got to be difficult for my mom to look at her child and just say, he's taking a big risk, and I'm not going into something like, communications or business that I know that when I graduate, I can just go in and say, you know, I have a solid chance at getting a job. With this, it's a really, really competitive field, and I need the support, but man, I have it great. It's so awesome to be in a show and look out in the audience in Price Theater and have an entire row of my family in the middle, and I can just see it, and it's so overwhelming to know that they have my back, and my grandfather that keeps all of my playbills and my posters and frames them and puts them up downstairs, and so now I have this shrine almost of every show that I've ever done. It's really cool to go down there and it's like a reminder of everything that I've ever accomplished and done. And so aside from just my family, I have my fraternity brothers in Delta Tau Delta that are there for me all the time, and a really great theater family. Everybody there, I think that's a really cool thing about LaGrange College Theater Department is it's a small school. You know, it's a department of 35 people. And so you get really close to one another and you support one another and you're behind one another and you're acting with your friends on stage. And so it makes it really, really an awesome experience.
Very good. As we get ready to close out, talk about what your plans are for the future, Austin, if you don't mind.
Right now, I'm trying to audition in professional settings in Georgia Theater Conference, Southeastern Theater Conference, and get my name out there, get my face out there, and start to get professional credits, because what I really want to do when I graduate is pursue this as a career. I want to be a performer. I don't want to just settle. You know, I don't think that that's what I should do. I think that if I have the passion for this like I do, and I feel so strongly for it, that I should pursue this at 100%. So as soon as I graduate, I'm looking at going into agencies. I'm looking at trying to get into the film and theater, you know, the field that's in Atlanta right now that's so prominent, because Atlanta's booming right now with all kinds of film industry and theater industry. So now's the perfect time to go. And that's what I really want to do is travel up north in an hour and a half and try to just get a solid job. Because if I can just make a living doing what I love to do, I don't care to be famous. That's not the point. I just want to do what I love and make a career out of it and be happy.
Very good. You know, you're drawing me in, Austin. I'm gonna tell you, being a triple threat, I know that we will definitely see your name in lights and up on the billboards in the years to come. So I want to thank you very much for coming on and sharing.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, great. We're gonna definitely be looking forward. I'm gonna go ahead and get the autograph now, okay? before it gets so famous that I can't get to you, okay?
Well, I will say one last thing. We have a show coming up on the 23rd of this month. It's a Wednesday through a Sunday, the Shadow Hour, which I have the lead in. I play a senator who's been accused of rape. It's like a really Law and Order SVU type thing. So if you like a courtroom drama, that's exactly what this is. And it's at Price Theater, 7:30 every night. Box office opens next week. You should definitely try to get tickets.
Okay, I definitely will. We'd love to see you. So, all right, Austin, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm sitting down with two guests from our community that are here for a very worthwhile cause. I'm sitting down with the committee chairman, Dan Wooten, and Survivor Chairman, Dan Wooten, and also a survivor, and we're going to save that special recognition for a little bit later, but we also have Ms. Ruth Gardner. Welcome both of you all to the show.
Thank you.
Well, Dan, we're here to talk a little bit about the Relay for Life. Tell us a little bit about it and your role this year.
Okay. Well, the Relay for Life is a combined effort of the American Cancer Society and local communities to raise awareness in cancer research, to support survivors, and raise funds. And so each year, our community here in Troup County holds a Relay for Life, and a vital part of that is to recognize our survivors. We remember those we lost. We also encourage to keep the fight, keep going in the battle against cancer. 3.5 million people participate each year worldwide in the Relay for Life in about 5,000 different communities.
That's awesome, isn't it? And you have a special guest here with us today, Ms. Ruth Gardner.
Yes.
Ms. Ruth, tell us, and you are a survivor.
Yes.
Talk about the type of cancer that you had.
I had thyroid cancer cells. I understand that there's 3 types of cancer cells, thyroid cancer cells. And I had to have the best of the worst, you know.
Oh my.
And but my lump in my left thyroid was removed, and then he went in 2 days later, my doctor did, and surgeon, and took out the right thyroid, just in case something might be in it, but there was not. So that was my first dealing with cancer.
Oh my goodness.
If I had smoked or drank or anything like that, I might have could understood, but it just appeared.
Just appeared. Okay.
There was a lump that came in my visual in my neck, and it didn't go away without surgery.
Okay. All right. Well, we're glad that you're here with us today as a survivor, and I still want to hold that special little title for just a little bit longer. Okay. Now, let me ask you now, Dan. There are various teams around the cities that are getting involved. Talk about those teams and how other people can.
Right now, we have 41 teams. Our goal is 45. So hopefully, we'll make that goal by the 25th.
Okay.
That's when the relay takes place on the track on Fort Drive. It'll start at about 5 p.m. for registration. But these 41 teams are throughout the whole community that are helping in the fundraising effort. And so they rally together, they put on barbecues, they sell items to raise funds, because we have a goal as a group here locally to raise over $100,000 that'll go toward cancer research.
Okay, very
And so
good.
all these teams participate in that to help raise the funds.
And you know, Brenda Leverett down at the City of LaGrange every year does a great job.
She does.
The City Slickers, I'm going to try to get her on to talk about it as well. And she is one of those go-getters. I mean, if you have $1 in your hand, she's going to get 50 cents of it. She's going to get it. That's right. Now, let me ask you now, because you've been involved with the survivors now for a number of years too, Ms. Gardner. Talk about your first experience with getting involved with.
Getting involved.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, my first visit with my support group meets. This is the West Georgia Health Support Group. We meet at the cancer clinic at the hospital every last Monday in the month. And we have guest speakers and information that anyone, it's not only just for survivors, but for caregivers or anyone that wants to be interested in the support group. And my first time to work with the relay was actually putting out canisters and selling barbecue tickets, and then it just kind of escalated from there. And now I am so, now this is one thing that I have to say to you.
Okay.
If it had not been for cancer, I would not be involved in this wonderful program, support group, or anything.
Well, good. We hate the fact that you got involved for that reason, but we're glad that you're involved now. Let me ask you that, Dan. I know that you guys have the relay. It's going to be April the 25th.
Right.
And I know that you all have, talk about that opening ceremony.
Okay.
Again.
Oh, it's a moving ceremony. We gather up all the cancer survivors at 6:45 for a group picture. And then we have various individuals, like Jack Mormon does a great job. He's our MC. And we'll have a pledge. We'll have the singing of the national anthem. We have a ribbon cutting ceremony. We have the local oncologist and radiologists gathered together along with the Grand Marshal, which we'll talk about that in a second. And they cut the ribbon, and we have all our survivors with their caregivers to walk the first lap that starts off the relay. And it's a very moving experience. And they each are carrying balloons. We gather halfway down the track, and then we have a releasing of the balloons. Again, remembering those that have passed and helping to encourage one another to keep the fight going.
Absolutely.
And everyone has on a survivor shirt.
A survivor shirt, too.
Oh yes, they receive all the survivors. Now, even if a cancer survivor can't attend, we still would like to be able to make contact with them. There's resources with the American Cancer Society that would like to get to them, and they can call me at 706-883-1681 or Lynn Howard at 883-1670, and we can help get them information even if they're not able to attend the relay.
Okay, well, very good. You talked about a moment ago about the Grand Marshal.
Yes.
At the parade. let me ask, who is the Grand Marshal for this year's parade?
It just happens to be Ruth Garner.
Miss Gardner, absolutely. Let me ask Miss Gardner, how did that make you feel when you got that phone call and say, we selected the Grand Marshal?
I could not believe it. I mean, it is a goal that all of us survivors reach for, but we never expect it. And Wanda Lauer called me last Friday morning, which was kind of a short, quick, okay, here you are, you know, and told me that that I was nominated, elected, or whatever you might want to call it. And I honestly couldn't believe it. It was awesome. I actually went, it was kind of early, and my grandson was still asleep from working late the night before. I went back there and I said, you've got to wake up, you've got to wake up. So we were all very excited.
Well, we're excited.
And it is an awesome feeling to think that not only the team, the committee will want me.
I want to mention Wanda Lau that she mentioned, and Raquel Neal are also a part of the survivor team that serve along with me, helping to reach out to survivors, and they do a marvelous job for that.
Absolutely.
Wanda is our cancer navigator.
That's right.
Here in Troup County.
Awesome lady, too.
Yes.
Awesome lady. So let me ask you now, as a Grand Marshal, of course, you're going to lead the walk, the parade.
Yes.
What else would you do special for the parade?
Cut the ribbon.
Right, she'll be there along with the doctors to cut the ribbon.
To cut the ribbon, and
she's also participating in our luncheon that was held last week.
Okay.
And she read a poem of inspiration, and so she's just leading the way. I mean, we're inspired by individuals like her. For over 10 years now. She's a cancer survivor. Is it 11 years now?
July will be 11 years.
11 years a survivor. We're trying to cheer on our survivors to keep fighting.
Definitely.
That is one thing that you've got to remember. Cancer is just a word. God is still in control.
Yes. Amen.
And we've got to remember that as a group, if you're here and you've had your cancer deal, you are a survivor.
That's right. That's right. And the purple that you have on too, I wanted to ask about that, Miss Gardner. I see the beautiful purple earrings and the beautiful purple top.
Well, actually, my purple was my favorite color before all of this. But this is our survivor color.
Okay.
And our survivor ribbon. Now, we all know breast cancer is pink.
That's right.
And you can get pink or purple or whatever. All the cancer types have their own color. Now, purple is thyroid cancer, but I prefer purple as survivor.
As survivor, absolutely.
And actually, these earrings were a gift from my grandsons.
Oh, okay. Well,
because they were purple.
Very, very good. Let me ask you then. We've talked about teams. There's 41 teams.
Right.
Your goal is 45.
Yes.
If there's someone that's watching that hadn't got on a team yet, or hadn't gotten a team for, can they still?
Yes. We'd love to get them teamed up. People can do several things to help out. They can participate, which we prefer the most, to get involved in a team. But if they can't, a contribution to one of the teams, that money all goes toward cancer research, and that's what we're all about. And so, but they can call myself or Lynn Howard, who's the chairperson of the event, and we can help team them up, or they could start a new team. It's not too late to do that and make a difference. And so we hope they do that.
We don't want to forget the luminary of
Oh yes,
also.
Ruth, that's excellent.
Okay.
Many people like me, last year I lost my mom to cancer. And so we have luminaries that are a good opportunity to remember those that have passed, and also to honor those that are living still that are battling cancer. And so they can contact us and we can get them a luminary form. It's not too late to participate in that, to either remember or to honor somebody that's battled cancer.
That is another awesome sight when all the bags are lit.
That's right.
at dusk.
At dusk, dark.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
right.
at 10 o'clock is when we have the luminaries ceremony. And we have music going all the way to midnight, and the teams go all the way till 6 a.m. when the closing ceremony takes place. But it's a wonderful event just to bring the family out, to walk around, show your support for cancer survivors, and invite it's great
And
for
you
everybody.
You can go to each booth.
Right, you have
That
booths
we
set up
have
out
the
there.
booths
Absolutely.
around.
I remember some years ago
And
I
you
came
can,
out.
I'm not sure, Dan, are we going to have the ice cream barbecues or anything this
Yes,
year?
what we do for cancer survivors, if they register, is that they will get 3 survivor bucks, which are money that they take to the booths, and the booths are fundraising that evening, but
Okay.
they can use that to get food. We also will give them a coupon for free ice cream
Ice
right
cream.
after the ceremony
All
takes
right.
place, and so we love our survivors, and we really want them to come out with their caregivers.
Right.
Because caregivers are so vital to this
Absolutely.
process of
Absolutely.
people who
Yes, they are.
stand beside those like
Absolutely.
Ruth that are in the battle against cancer.
Oh, geez,
very
I
good.
have a wonderful support group in my family.
Well, great. Well, you know what? Our time has gotten away from us, both of you. I want to thank you both for coming on. And Ms. Gardner, congratulations on being
Thank you
selected the
very
Grand
much.
Marshal. Dan, thanks for coming on and sharing the information today. All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining for City Week this week. My guests have been student from LaGrange College, Austin Taylor, as he talked about his career in theater and the excitement and the support that he gets from his many family, friends, and all others. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you go out and check him out in the play that's coming up starting April the 23rd through the 27th at the Price Theater. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I had on cancer survivor, Miss Ruth Gardner, and also Grand Marshal for this year's Relay for Life, and Dan Wooten, as they talked about the upcoming event that will be taking place on April the 25th out at the Fort Drive track. So ladies and gentlemen, get involved because it is for a very worthwhile cause. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed those interviews for this week, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.